Welcome to the Canadian Prairies. This is my home, and the starting point for what I am affectionately calling the tour to good things. I'm essentially getting the longest ride to the airport ever, and my first stop is Minneapolis, Minnesota. Bit of a crazy adventure on my way to Stanford is the end destination to Medicine X. We are now en route to Minneapolis. It's gonna be a bit crazy, so here's to the adventure and messy hair apparently.
Let's just say that I might be a sucker. The progress is all in how you cope in spite of nowhere.
Where are you going, Dean?
Converse, Kerri.
That was Converse.
We didn't find anything.
How's the apartment so far?
Someone left a sock in the dryer.
It's Sunday. I'm through security at Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport, headed to San Francisco. I'm choosing every route that is 100% not conducive to exactly where I want to go in this airport.
Ambition disappears. I swore it would never come to this. The avarice, the obvious. I'm still discontented down here. I'm still discontented.
I landed in San Francisco a little bit early, where my friend Steve was waiting to take me back to the East Bay area, which would be my home base for the next few days. The next morning we headed out so Steve could introduce me to Santa Cruz, where he actually used to sell pretzels under the Giant Dipper when he was younger. We're in the American hospital tour right now.
Miles.
Don't get too attached, come on.
Absolutely.
Okay, my friend.
Oh, she's torturing me.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no. No. I've been stuck so many times I don't even feel it.
Blood return. We love that.
Yay!
I can taste the alcohol in my mouth. I don't know
Yep.
how that happens, but
And a little bit of heparin. Okay, coming out. Bum.
Done deal.
Done deal.
what? Wait, oh, I get a Band-Aid.
You did. Have a Band-Aid.
Oh, look at that!
Here, which one you want? This one? Let's smell that.
After some playtime with my buddy Winston the cat, I headed back over to Concord for my final night in the East Bay area. And I really enjoyed my stay at the Crowne Plaza, except for the chemical flowers that permeated my room and made my lungs suck. Yeah, so I've been taking treatments, and I don't know actually how much is in this one, because I totally just dumped like some random amount of my medicine like all over the nab-in table, and just like, this is stupid. I don't know how much of this I'm actually taking. Not very much, because I'm talking while I'm doing it. While I've discovered that driving a lot is a fact of life in the Bay Area, I still really appreciate that Steve came the next morning to pick me up at the hotel simply to make sure I made my connection with Carly at the Twitter building in San Francisco. Carly's friend Samantha was working at Twitter and invited Carly and I to have lunch with her and get a tour of the building, which was super cool. And then Carly and I made the trip to Palo Alto. Woohoo!
Yay! Hi! It's your turn. We didn't get in a car accident or anything.
Thursday was pre-conference workshop day, and most of the ePatients headed over to Stanford for the Partnering for Health session put on in partnership with Eli Lilly to help demystify the clinical trials process to patients. We couldn't handle the temptation of Play-Doh on the table anymore.
We're just thinking about
We're not supposed to open this yet. Okay, ready guys? There we go! Partnering for Health!
Gravity. You are still here and so made to figure. You are an important part of the computer. Born of the sea.
Hi, this is my friend George Washington. He is a correspondent for the White House here at Stanford Medicine X, just reporting for duty. And yeah, well, I guess we'll keep you posted.
It's me, George, reporting live from Stanford. We're about to get started on the Partnering for Health workshop. See you soon.
So guys, how's the catching the shuttle going?
Oh, you know, Mud Shuttle. Here, ta-da!
Sorry, do you guys need shuttles?
Yeah.
called it already. We
Okay,
just
yeah.
we waited over there because we weren't sure.
Yeah,
And
I
we
just-
realized
it should
that there
be
is
here in, like, 5
a beautiful
minutes,
sign
hopefully. Okay.
created for this.
Doctors, I ask you to be bold. I ask you to have aggressive vision for your patients. Each person needs to figure out the contours of the pieces for themselves. And everybody have their own motivations, values, and experiences.
Our conference director, Dr. Larry Chu.
Wow, it's such a production this year. Look at that. I had to come out from behind the thing.
Once again, with Medicine Next, there's this real conversation that's continuing after the conference is over.
There is no legal right to have access to the data that you collect about yourself using common commercial and non-commercial services. And there isn't even an ethical consensus that ordinary users should have access to their own data.
Now, I think we're in a cosmic sweet spot. You can't do much better than smiling children taking fist pumps.
Riding bikes and other things, which is a hands-on things, like hands-on activities and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like maybe when you get older, you can use it to drive a car.
Yeah.
What do you think about the technology, Lisa?
It's really neat. We saw it at Maker Fair first. That's how I got into the whole hand thing and asked if Eva wanted to have one. She had done great when she was younger without help, but I saw that she needed something more.
Obviously, you don't want to be creating a solution just for the person who has the latest iPhone, but there's lots of opportunities to build technology that serves that whole population.
And this is just a beginning of a conversation about our intent. How are we going to do it? Well, we want to make this community accessible. It has to be easy to get to. It has to be one where we're learning together, where patients, healthcare providers, the whole team, we can learn together and from each other. Some of the things that we're already doing, the earlier part, sitting here in the front row with our patients this year are a group of student leaders. These are healthcare students, design students, who we've given scholarships to and we've brought to Medicine X. We have a youth initiative this year. We have 100 high school students who are interested in science and medicine who are joining us today and tomorrow for Medicine X. We're going to leverage technology, of course, through the creation of online courses. And the other thing we want to do is we want to give credit. This is not going to be a degree from Stanford University. It's not going to be for university credit, but it's about acknowledging learning, acknowledging scholarship by giving a certificate to patients and stakeholders who complete our curriculum in our online courses through Medicine X.
So I'm going to talk about preventing ACL tears. And so ACL is the anterior cruciate ligament. It's one of the main ligaments in the knee that stabilizes the knee. Preventing these tears in female athletes using video game technology. And so, unfortunately, this is a very common picture on many couches and of many basketball teams, is that you see athletes like this. So
there are 3 sessions I want to be in right now, so I've run to 3 different rooms in the last hour to be at all of them.
Play with technology, we play cards, we play Dance Dance Revolution with our grandparents. We want to make sure that the feedback that we're getting builds on people's emotions so that they want to do more, increases their abilities so that they can do more, and gives them a call to action so that they can see there's actually more to do within this system. Change happens, everybody wins. Thank you.
I had no community, and the medical system I had once known as cohesive and curious was now fragmented and disconnected. I did not learn about my rare disease in the comfort of an exam room with a trusted physician, because there was no physician to be seen. Rather, a letter arrived in the mail 4 months too late with my genetic test results. I thought these words would mark the beginning of my healing, but I was soon placed inside a clinical mold in which I did not fit. Treatment after treatment carried out in a series of steps. And as my lab values improved, my quality of life slipped further and further out of reach. This was the moment I realized the medical system had set me up to fail.
You gotta keep myelogous leukemia. And that night I was on a plane to Seattle to start my induction chemotherapy and my journey with cancer. That each patient is an N of one, and that many people suffer with them. We will all find ourselves buried someday. And so I encourage you, whether or not you're digging or buried, remember the story, for it will help you do more than you ever thought imaginable.
And then I discovered others just like me, openly and honestly sharing their stories, and I found the courage to take off my mask. So this is me sharing my story, because I know that each time we hesitate to tell the truth of who we really are, we allow shame and stigma to grow.
We have opportunities all through life not to have these grand interventions, but simply to be nudged in the right direction.
Dream the dream of your attrition, the nameless name of your condition. We'll be needing you a little while longer. You are an important part of the computer.
Yay! It's beautiful.
Oh, hold on. I'm supposed to be doing stand-alone. I'm a coordinator. Oh, we do. That's my non-screening arm. You gotta do my other arm. And then,
You guys are so silly.
Yes.
Oh man. Man, you're out of date. You are out of date.
Great time. I look at this and call it an amazing life-saving intervention that is awesome, and I should be able to do and be able to share with other people. But we can't post this open source because it's a class 3 medical device, and that would be bad, and the FDA would come after us. So one of the things that we're doing is, what are the components that we can take from this and add to other things and make it available to more people?
No, I want you to amputate my leg. My doctor refused this request still, saying that it's medically irresponsible to amputate a limb that still has a pulse. So I fired him. So you have to realize, to me, and this hits very close, that freedom of mobility is a basic right. Losing my limb never made me disabled. The only disability comes with the ability to get the correct prosthetic. Thank you.
Online, through a community of anosmia patients using social media, I found shared humor in the frustrations anosmics experienced and useful rules to live by. And although they couldn't solve everything, those changes empowered me to control what I could and paved the way to my version of independence.
Erin Moore. I have a 4-year-old son who has cystic fibrosis, and I work at Cincinnati Children's Hospital on the pulmonary team as a family partner.
Context is a core theme arising at Medicine X. Just as data means little without context, discussions such as this one between Erin, Anne, Gonzalo, Scott, Hugo, and Sarah on how chronic disease affects mental well-being simply cannot be accurately and succinctly represented without full context. Throughout Medicine X, many sessions streamed online via the Global Access program to allow full context and fuller participation by everyone, not just those in the physical space. Medicine X has a very vibrant and dynamic online community-based discussion. However, very little can replace face-to-face interaction. And sometimes those conversations continue over ice cream tacos at the welcome reception, followed by dinner with a couple of ePatients.
So we're at the Life Kitchen. Found a vegetarian menu, which is very exciting. So I am having some sweet potato fries and some children's vegan pasta, so just tomato sauce on them. And then we have some more sweet potato fries and fake chicken nuggets. And I'm very excited. They're not nuggets, they're chicken tenders. I'm wrong. How's the food going, ladies? Good. Good?
Awesome. It's 11 o'clock on Saturday evening, so we've just wrapped up day 2 of the Madison X conference and still have 1 day to go tomorrow. But it's just really weird thinking that, this time tomorrow I'll be at San Francisco International Airport and getting geared up for my flight home. Just had a lot of thoughts today about how amazing the ePatient community at Madison X is this year, and everyone's just done a really, really amazing job of supporting each other, even though we all have very different circumstances and very different needs. And I think we're all just really able to level with each other and share that compassion towards one another's experiences, and it's just been, really cool.
So you have to prick your finger every day. I am scared of needles. I could never do that. In fact, I've already done that 40,000 times in my life so far. And yes, you could do that if you had no choice. The hard part is feeling like the hard work I put into managing my diabetes makes no difference, because I can do the same exact things 2 days in a row and see wildly different results. The hard part of living with diabetes for me is the psychosocial impact. It's the cognitive burden of trying to manage a disease so insidious and pervasive and never getting a break from it.
Late Sunday morning, I opted to embrace the wellness room, a space set aside to recharge from the intensity of Medicine X. On day 3 of nonstop interaction, learning, and many emotionally resonant ePatient Ignite talks, this pause definitely refocused me for the afternoon.
You guys have really impressed us, and your ability to look out for each other has been phenomenal. Interactions, we've been very huggy.
Okay, what's wrong? How can I fix it? Can a Diet Coke fix it, please? My only, obviously, solution to whatever problem. It's been inspiring to read all of the applications, and I knew there were so many diverse stories out there, and then I get to read them and talk to you and advising.
So what we wanted to do was really rethink how we talk to people about wellness and really reframe the conversation. Make it a fun experience, make it an engaging experience, and talk to people where they're already talking. And social.
It's talking about Jerry's diabetes, and it's much more fun, and it's much more friendly, and it's involving them in the situation from day one. We've had a lot of families that have reached out to us, that have started to email us, who really want a tool like Jerry, but have not quite been able to
There's a slide on Friday morning that this man, Larry Chu, without whom, of course, none of us would be here, that he introduced when he was opening the conference. And the slide said, "You will meet amazing people here. Yes, you are one of them, and don't be shy." Well, that's the spirit of Medicine X. We're all family, we're all each other's people, and we all belong here. I leave here re-energized, re-inspired, and recharged, and I hope you all do too. So thank you so much for coming. Stay in touch. See you next year.
We're the generation can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday. We're already late. I was looking for a song to sing. Search for a melody. Search for someone new. We were looking for the world to change. If you feel the same, go on and say. Go on and say, if you're out there. Wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, calling every man. With a generation can't afford to wait. The future started yesterday. We're already late.
With a finale like that, Meredith and I didn't really let the energy of Medicine X wane any before we went on an adventure to find Google.
Here's the Google bikes.
Oh, that's awesome!
Hey, so we're at Google and I'm with Kerri, and there is the big Google sign. How about that? In Mountain View, California. At the Google headquarters. So Kerri is totally at Google, riding the Google bike. This is so freaking cool.
I don't want to die. I'm not wearing the helmet. Safety! Alright, Meredith is riding a Google bike over here.
Oh my goodness, I'm at the Google headquarters riding the Google bike. I still don't know if I should be doing this right now, but hey.
These are Google things. They have little meetings on these. And there's another Google bike down there. And there's the Google bike we were just riding. I am so, like, I don't even know what to do. So if you've ever wondered how much trash the internet produces, this would be your answer. This is all the garbage outside of Google, although I think they do a fair amount of recycling. We're driving to find Facebook. Facebook is, of all things, located on Hacker Way. We feel like this is a lie.
It's a setup.
Facebook was not a lie. There's a like sign. We're at Facebook, and they're very, very disappointing compared to Google because all we get is this sign, the like sign to take a picture of. That's it. A couple hours later, Joe gave Murray and I a ride to the airport, but before we parted ways, he had to teach us a lesson. Keep in mind that Murray is from Ireland, I'm from Canada, and Joe is from Kentucky.
Before we part ways, I need to teach you all redneck conjugation. So you have to compete, you have to join in. So
all right.
The redneck conjugation is the Iva, Yuva, Theyvas.
Okay.
I'm lost already.
So Iva,
Iva, Yuva, Theyva.
Yuva, Theyva.
Iva, Yuva, Theyva.
Yeah, Iva going down here.
Oh, Iva, okay.
Yuva coming with me. Theyva going to wait on us. There's your redneck conjugation lesson for the day.
And that wasn't even the last lesson Joe taught me in California. That one was how to get my phone back from the Delta check-in kiosk after I was already through security. I spent much of my 14-hour journey home wide awake. I slept for a total of 45 minutes and spent most of the time staring out of plane windows at the lights beneath me or lying on the floor of the Minneapolis airport. Primarily because Medicine X conjures up the kinds of good things that create as much excitement in starting the next journey as was experienced at the beginning of the journey to California itself. Tour to good things, mission complete.
Breathe, just breathe. Let the life that you live be all that you need.